Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the Jaws movies. Jaws just recently had its 50th anniversary. In honor of the 50th anniversary, we're going to be ranking all 4 Jaws movies while building the Jaws Lego set. So we'll go ahead and open this guy up. Need scissors. Right. This bag ripped open. Little Officer Brody minifigure. So kicking off this ranking, we're going Jaws 3D in the number 4 spot. The movie stars Dennis Quaid. The plot is Chief Brody's sons, Michael and Sean. Michael works at SeaWorld and Sean is coming to visit him when a mother shark and a baby shark breaks into SeaWorld and starts eating a bunch of people. So the reason why I put Jaws 3D in the number 4 position is because just the 3D aspect of it doesn't look good. I know that the movie was made in 1983, but it's just rewatching it, it still just doesn't hold up. And there was an end scene with where the dolphins come and it's supposed to be the final 3D shot. Also just looked terrible. I think that the premise, like the location for it being in SeaWorld, I think that was really cool. Too, that I thought it was very funny that the SeaWorld aquarium that's underwater had windows that can only withstand the pressure of the water, and then anything else that like taps the glass completely shatters it. I thought that was pretty funny. And even later on in the next one, everything with the third movie ends up getting completely retconned anyway, so it's like it's not even actually a part of the timeline. So that's why it's going into the number 4 spot. Alright, so next up, I'm putting Jaws 4 or Jaws the Revenge in the number 3 spot. Personally, both Jaws 3 and 4 have their problems. I was kind of going back and forth whether or not which spot to put either of them in, but as bad as Jaws 4 is, it's at least a little bit more of a visually watchable film than the Jaws 3D. But Jaws 4 completely retcons everything with the third movie. So Michael doesn't work at SeaWorld and Sean is now in the place of his father as sheriff deputy. And then the movie commits a complete sin and ends up killing off Sean in the first like 10 minutes of the movie. So that was kind of a big bummer, big downer. But after Sean dies, the mom ends up going crazy, thinking that their family's destined basically to just be eaten by sharks or to die by a shark.
Sean, it killed your father.
I also forgot to mention that Chief Brody has died, ended up getting like an anxiety attack or something and had a heart attack and died.
Dad died from a heart attack.
He died from fear. The fear of it killed him.
So after Sean Brody dies, the mom ends up going out to the Bahamas with Michael and his family and trying to get away from whatever the shark was that killed Sean. But the shark ends up following them from Amityville all the way to the Bahamas, where the water is warm and sharks typically don't go to. So I'm giving it 3rd place because even though the movie doesn't really have a whole lot going for it, I think that it's so bad that it's good. I mean, just the thought of a shark hunting down a family just because of their last name is just very funny to me. I will say that one of the downsides to it is that it's pretty boring in the fact that there's not really a whole lot of deaths. There's only 2, which would be Sean Brody and then there was another girl who ends up getting mistaken by the shark. There would have been another one with Michael's friend, but the shark ends up taking him and realizes he isn't a Brody, so he ends up spitting him out and he ends up surviving. So only 2 deaths within the whole movie, so there's really not a whole lot that goes on in this one, but it's at least more visually appealing than Jaws 3D. So that's why it goes in my 3rd spot. Going in our number 2 spot, I'm gonna give it to Jaws 2. So Jaws 2 takes place 4 years after the first movie and follows Chief Brody, the chief of police from the first one, and his family. So some of the things that I liked about Jaws 2, I liked the return of most of the original cast. So Roy Scheider being in it again, the last one that he's in for the franchise. I thought the kills were really cool. There was one kill in particular where the shark gets a guy off the boat and then ends up taking him and dragging him and then slamming his head up against the boat. I thought that was really funny. So one aspect that I didn't really like about Jaws 2 is that even after all the events that happened in Jaws 1, when Chief Brody was trying to explain to everybody that there was another shark, nobody seemed to believe him, and he was kind of running around like a madman, even though he was correct before. So I don't really know why the town wouldn't believe him that it would happen again. But so that part just kind of bothered me. And the way that they killed the shark, it seemed like they were trying to be too much like the kill in the first one, with Chief Brody even giving the like little tagline of almost like the "smile you son of a bitch" line from the first one, but instead it was say "ah" or "open wide" or something like that. Didn't quite hit the same as the "smile you son of a bitch" line from the first one, and it was almost kind of too predictable with the kill, because at the beginning of the movie there were some boaters that ended up pulling a big electrical cable from the water, and it became very clear that that was probably how the shark was gonna die. So minus points for being too predictable. Anyway, the boat's done. And then coming in at the number 1 spot, everyone probably guessed Jaws. I remember loving the first Jaws movie so much when I was a kid. I tried showing some friends of mine the movie, and we got maybe 20 minutes into the film, and then they just got bored of it and wanted to go back and play NFL Streets on the PlayStation 2. It's just a classic summer adventure story of this beach that's just being completely terrorized by this unstoppable force of nature. It's such a good creature feature movie as well. In the movie we have 3 main characters. Chief Brody, who just moved to Amityville to get away from the city and be kind of a small town cop. And then we have Matt Hooper, who is a marine biologist who studies like sharks. And then we have Quint, who's the owner of the Orca, who is hired by Chief Brody and the mayor of the town to hunt and kill the shark that's been terrorizing the beaches. This movie also has one of the greatest creature death scenes, with the shark having the tank in its mouth, and Officer Chief Brody is trying to shoot the tank in the shark's mouth, and then at the end of the film, Hooper and Brody end up just floating away on the little yellow barrels that they were using to try to track the shark. And then other funny little Easter egg that I had never noticed until preparing for these rankings was there's one scene in Jaws 2 where Brody has one of these yellow canisters in the front of his house as a planter. So I thought that was a nice little detail.
Listen, I used to be the most terrifying shark in movie history. I had a whole generation of people rethinking stepping foot in the ocean. Now look at me. I'm 300 pieces of plastic stuck together. I'm a shark. A Lego shark, but a shark nonetheless. I'm supposed to be an apex predator, right? But just last week, I take a dive right between the couch cushions. My only friend down there? A weak old goldfish cracker. I mean, get out of here. At least I can still live out my most infamous moment terrorizing Officer Brody and those other 2 guys. But man, what I wouldn't give to be a real shark again.
Bruce the Shark, your wish to become a real shark again has been granted.
Yeah. Wait.
Well, there you guys have it. A quick little video ranking all 4 Jaws movies while building the Jaws Lego set. Let me know down in the comments what your ranking of all 4 of the Jaws movies are. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.